and thank you for watching. Welcome to Module 1 of Sugu Drone's 2023 Canadian Drone Pilot's Guide. We're excited to have you. Our Drone Pilot's Guide is organized into modules. 8, in fact. In today's presentation, we'll be going over drone registration, basic and advanced operations, a case study, as well as Drone Center registration and explainer video on how to register your drone to Drone Center, as well as utilizing the logbook feature in Drone Center as well. So let's take a look at our drone guide roadmap. So today we'll be focusing on Module 1, but you can see we go all the way from Module 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we culminate with Module 8 for a series of our videos. In today's video, again, we'll be going through registration and basic and advanced operations. You can see the sequence colors. This illustrates the timeline of our modules. To the right side of this module, or the screen, you'll see a breakdown of what will be covered in today's module, from 901.02 to 901.59. Here's an additional illustration from Module 1 through to Module 5 of the breakdown of our modules. Again, post Module 5, we'll actually be having auxiliary modules to assist with the base and core knowledge areas. Today again, we'll be covering drone registration and your logbook, how to stay compliant, as well as basic operations. Modules 2 through 5 we'll be covering at a later date. Our ground school guide is free with registration of Drone Center. You get a bonus 7-day free trial with access to Drone Center and free access to our study guide material. In addition to this, you get a PDF soft copy with over 300 pages of our material, and all the 901.series regulations are covered with a succinct, clear explanation of every rule, and we have active links in our description below. Make sure you check it out. In addition to that, we also have our plain English cards available with registration of Drone Center, all available in our documents section for you to view. As an additional bonus of registering to Drone Center, you'll also get access to our fleet management tools, which include logbooks. This is great because you get your drone pilot logbook as well as your personal logbook. This has to adhere to Transport Canada requirements. Why create your own? Okay, so let's get started on the meat of the materials. We'll be going through registering your drone. So let's talk a little bit about how these modules will actually work. So on the left side of the module, or the page I should say, you'll have the actual Transport Canada wording, or the legal wording according to the Canadian Aviation Regulations. And you'll have sub-tabs that will cover each of those regulations according to the Canadian Aviation Regulations, stemming from 901.02 all the way down to 901.59. Now again, we'll have the Transport Canada legal definition on the left, as well as the plain English translation on the right, so you have a better understanding of what Transport Canada is trying to advise you in legal jargon or speak, and we'll provide that to you in a clear and succinct plain English format so you understand it. So, according to Transport Canada, they state the following for 901.02: no person shall operate a remote pilot aircraft system unless the remotely piloted aircraft is registered in accordance with this division. In addition, they state that the registration number, it needs to be issued in accordance with 901.05 and is clearly visible. And no pilot shall operate a remote pilot aircraft system unless the certificate of registration issued in respect to the remote pilot aircraft is easily accessible. So now what they're trying to tell you here is make sure to fix your drone registration before you fly or face penalties. So this means ensure your drone is registered online, ensure you carry your drone certificate of registration, and you need to ensure the drone is labeled with its registration and an alphanumeric code. The drone registration should be visible and non-obstructed. So let me show you a quick picture of what I mean exactly by this. So I've taken a photo label maker and I've attached it to this Autel drone, and you can see that I've clearly put a registration on top of this drone, and it's a nice, clear alphanumeric markings. And you want to do this so to follow Transport Canada guidelines at the end of the day in terms of registration requirements. and make sure it's clearly affixed. Get yourself a label maker, make it easy at the end of the day. That way you're not making any mistakes. Next up, we're covering valid and up-to-date drone registration. And as you can see, Transport Canada at the end of the day for 901.07 and 901.08. These cover cancellation of your certificate of registration as well as change of name or address. Okay? So, in short, here, anytime that you cancel or you have a change of address, the minister or Transport Canada, or going directly to the portal, what this directly means is you need to update that within 7 days. You're responsible to update your drone registration if you sell, move, or lose your drone. If you do not update this information, Transport Canada will have you liable for any incidents or accidents your drone is involved in. So you want to make sure that you update this material. This is very, very important. Okay? So again, cancellation of certificate is what this is advising. So if your aircraft is destroyed in any manner, you'll want to make sure you update that on the drone management portal online. So this specific slide covers qualifications to be registered owner of a remotely piloted aircraft. So 901.04 states that you need to be a citizen of Canada, a permanent resident, a corporation, a municipality, a provincial, federal entity in order to register a drone. What it's stating here, no individual is qualified to register and own a remote pilot aircraft unless they're also 14 years of age. So you need to be a minimum of 14 years of age. So let's break this down in plain English translation. Non-Canadian residents or non-citizens cannot register their drones in Canada. You need to be a minimum age of 14 years. Corporations can register their drones here in Canada. Foreigners can still fly here. So the key thing is if you're overseas and you're looking to fly here in Canada, if you're in the United States or you're from somewhere in Europe and you're looking to fly here, yes, you can still fly here. You can do the advanced exam, you can do the flight review, subsequently apply for an SFOC to fly. But again, in order to register your drone, okay, you need to be a Canadian citizen of this country or hold a PR residence card, permanent residence card, and be a minimum of 14 years of age. Corporations can also register, by the way. So let's talk about basic and advanced operations. So basic operations applies to essentially operations that are 30 meters from people, as well as that you're operating outside of controlled airspace. Right? It states here that this division applies in respect of operation of a remotely piloted aircraft system that includes smaller remotely piloted aircraft and that are not intended to conduct any advanced operations referred to in paragraphs 901.62A to D. Now, again, as I plainly explained to you, is that you need to be operating 30 meters away from people, as well as outside of controlled airspace. Plainly put, make sure that you're in an uncontrolled environment when you're operating your drone in basic operations. The drone must also be within that 250 gram to 25 kilogram range. So, plain English, basically what they're saying is flights that do not require basically an SFOC, which is a special flight operations certificate, and meet the max and min criteria for the risk threshold abatement, which we talked about earlier, which is 30 meters and outside of controlled airspace, is considered basic operations. This is referred to in that risk threshold abatement chart that I will show you. So let's talk about advanced operations. There are 3 categories, one being controlled airspace, the other being 30 meters or 100 feet, but no less than 5 meters or 16.4 feet, and lastly, category C, 5 meters or less, equivalent 16.4 feet or less. So the C category allows you to fly basically right above that person's head, okay? But one of the things that you need to watch out for is disclaimers on most of these drones that you can overfly. Yes, you can operate a drone that may be directly over a person's head in category C, but be well aware, let's say if it's a system that requires a parachute, be well aware of what that chute manufacturers advise. So let's say they say that the chute cannot be deployed no less than 49 feet. That's a disclaimer that you would have to take into account from the manufacturer's standpoint. Okay. So, in addition to this, advanced operations within 3 nautical miles from the center of an airport, within 1 nautical mile from the center of a heliport, you must not be operating unless you have an advanced operations certificate, right? I'll show you this risk abatement threshold chart. Plainly put, what it is discussing with you is operating in basic operations, 30 meters or less, operating in category A, which is control airspace, operating in category B, which is 30 meters but no less than 5 meters, operating in category C, which is 5 meters or less. So what this particular slide is advising us is that in order to operate in the basic environment, you must pass the basic exam and you must be a minimum of 14 years of age. Now, again, if you want to operate in the basic category, you need to pass that exam, and the minimum age is 14 for the issuance of a pilot certificate. Now, this is very, very important, as you know, a lot of young folks that are either in high school or in homeschool may want to go for this license. You need to be a minimum of 14 years of age to do this. For those of us folks that are here that are a little bit older, but be advised that when you do write the advanced exam, however, the advanced exam actually reverts to you getting a basic certificate when you complete that advanced exam. Now, that license will remain basic until you do your flight review. At that point, your flight review unlocks the advanced certification. So let me repeat that again. If you're writing the advanced exam, do not be surprised when you pass that your license will still remain basic. Okay? Once you've done the flight review, that unlocks the advanced category after you've paid the government their cut. Now, pilot certification is valid for 2 years or 24 months. So, yes, you can come back to us in roughly 24 months, 2 years, or you can do one of several things that Transport Canada advises. You can go through a self-paced study program, conduct a flight review, recomplete your basic or advanced exams, follow recency requirements that are set out in 921.04, or recency requirements via Drone Center. One of the great things with Drone Center is it advises you when your recency requirements are coming up in 2 years. It notifies you, and more or less you can upload that documentation after once you have successfully passed either conducting a flight review or a self-paced study guide. Now, looking at 901.57, it states that no pilot shall operate a remotely piloted aircraft system under this division unless both of the following are accessible: the pilot certificate or document demonstrating that the pilot meets the recency requirements. Now, again, putting this into plain English here, you need to have proof of recency of your certification on your person, at least electronically. Again, this can be done by uploading this material so you have it with you over your phone. For examination rules and exam requirements, Transport Canada covers this in 901.58. No person shall, in respect of an examination, take under this division, copy or remove any part of the exam, give help to anybody, or complete any portion of the exam on behalf of anyone. Lastly, it states retaking of the exam, you must wait 24 hours. Okay, this is both for your flight review as well as your written exam. So in plain English, I'm sure you understood what I just said a while ago. You need to take the exam yourself. You do not copy any questions. This is completely prohibited. If you fail, you need to wait 24 hours. Again, this exam is open book, but this means you need to create a nice booklet that summarizes all the material. And I've done this all for you with a combined reference guide, as mentioned earlier, which are available in the link description below. You can have that via the purchase of Drone Center, and that's available as a bonus. Now that we've discussed all the core knowledge areas of Module 1, we will now apply it to a case study. On June 13th and 17th, an individual took it upon themselves to film the Toronto Raptors parade. Now, this event was on everyone's mind. It was an exciting time. It was one of the first times that our Raptors, or hallmark of our great nation, our basketball team, was on the rounds of winning a great championship. So this individual saw it as an opportune time to fly their drone, and they want to capture awe-striking material that, in the day that every Canadian he felt wanted to see. There were a few things that were a lapse of judgment. on the part of flying this drone over the Raptors parade. One of many things that are covered in the regulations, which include having set safety assurances, ensuring your drone is registered, and in addition to this, ensuring that you're not causing grave harm to people or person's property. Now, this individual was charged on several accounts from the Government of Canada, Transport Canada, on willfully breaking these laws. So let's cover off what this individual's course of action was when he decided to fly his drone at the Toronto Raptors parade in 2019.
All right, so we're on a roof right now with million people down there, and a million people down there. Got a squad here, EC, Chang, and Rooftopper. I have a drone. What should I do with this drone? Alright, so I just crashed the drone. It's done. It's dead. Fuck. I gotta buy a new drone now. But I'm leaving Europe today, so maybe I'll buy one when I'm in Europe. It costs a lot of money. This is my second drone this year. I'm gonna be buying my third drone in 1 year.
Now, this individual was charged on several set accounts from the Government of Canada, Transport Canada, a total fine of $2,750 in specifics to the both events that he flew on two separate occasions. Basically, Transport Canada stated in the Ontario region, a person operated a remotely piloted aircraft system, contrary to many rules of the Part 9 regulation. Now, Transport Canada ended up doubling up on charging him on several set regulations due to him flying on two separate days, and the individual in question was charged with these set offenses due to the negligence caused in these flights. Now, this issue was a dramatic issue for many Canadians across Canada. They were quite shocked. Many Canadian pilots across Canada, I should say, they were quite shocked. Many pilots were, airing their concerns and saying, what did I study for? At the end of the day, Transport Canada did issue a news release, and they ended up fining the pilot over on two accounts, on each account, for two incidences in Toronto. And they issued a news release statement, and basically saying that Canadians need to feel safe on the ground and in the sky, and this includes when they are traveling on a flight or attending public events. Now, due to Mr. Guru not getting a special flight operations certificate and handling this flight according to Transport Canada regulations, evidence was indeed collected, as you see here on these videos. Now, if we take a look at the offenses this individual was charged on, he was charged on several set accounts. The most important here, which covers the majority of our module today, no person shall operate a remote pilot aircraft system unless it is registered. A penalty of a total of $500 was charged to this individual on two alleged violations at $250 each. That's for the set 2 days. In addition to this, they charged Mr. Gu $250 each for two occasions, up to $500 total. No pilot shall operate remote pilot aircraft in controlled airspace. Furthermore, this individual was charged for three other infractions, which included operating a drone over a special aviation event without permission, operating near a controlled airspace or heliport without permission. In addition to this, operating a small remote pilot aircraft without certification or licensing for that standard. So to specify again, Transport Canada ended up charging Mr. Gu on several set infractions, one of being him not registering his drone, not obtaining an SOC, not having an advanced operation certificate, him not obtaining airspace authorization, and none of these were attempted, more or less. And this more or less frustrated the policymakers, frustrated enforcement that this individual did not go through this. So let's take a look at the airspace in which Mr. Gu flew through. So as you can see, he did indeed operate and control airspace, and very much so near St. Michael's Hospital, also Sick Kids Hospital here in Toronto. Mr. Gu flew near Yonge and Dundas, as well as the hotel, the Sheridan Hotel, and these infractions in these two separate occasions, as you can see, were inside controlled airspace. Now, given that the Orange Air helicopter, as you can see to the left, does have a gradual approach path, there may have been an instance where, his drone could have collided with a commercial aircraft. Mr. Gu did advise that, he was trying to get the event and capturing once in a lifetime opportunity. The policy and the regulations are quite clear. You must follow them. And given that Transport Canada did initialize these regulations on January 8th, 2019, this individual did have ample enough time to follow these regulations and also to get clarification and also advisory from Transport Canada, also approval from Transport Canada on flying this flight. So now we're going to go through a registration tutorial on Drone Center. Now, again, as discussed, you'll be receiving our drone guide, logbook, plain English cars with the registration of Drone Center. So why create your own when all of these things are made available free of charge for you for 7 days? In addition to that, when you register, it is available for a small nominal fee. So let's take a look at the Drone Operations Center, or Drone Center. First and foremost, when you go to the website, you're going to want to obviously type in your information, your login information you have, but you want to hit sign up first. Now you're going to type in your email or your work email, or your personal email for that matter. Okay, and once that's done, you're going to choose a password that you can remember at least. Okay, and then from there, you're going to choose your primary industry once you've done that. Once your primary industry is chosen, or if you don't have one that's in the drop down, you can choose other. You type your company name. If you don't have a company, you can just put your name in general. Great time to create a company name if you haven't had one already. If you don't have a use case, you can also hit other, and also your role. You can hit other, or if you're a general employee, or you can put CEO if that applies to you as well. If you're just one single person, you can hit one. Um, Filling this information does not affect the plan or policy at this time when you fill it out. This is more or less just a quick survey when you're registering to Drone Center itself. Now, once you've bypassed that whole stage, what you're then going to do is you're going to then add a card to the account. It indeed needs this to verify who you say you are. This is a security check. You're going to enter that card information, and more or less, once that's done, you're going to hit save card to the system. So at this time, once you've done that, hit all your details, add your card information, your month, year, your CVC, your name on card. And at this point, once you hit start trial, you can see you've clicked on the left here. It's going to tell you that an email verification has been sent. You're going to confirm on that email verification, and you're going to wait, and then you're going to click confirm. Once that's done, you have now successfully registered to Drone Center, and you've passed all security checks and credentials to get into the system. Okay, so that's a wrap for our first module of today. We discussed today registration requirements as well as basic and advanced operations. These are all the material that you'll need in regards to reviewing all the examination requirements for writing your Transport Canada exam and specifics to understanding registration requirements as well as basic and advanced operations. So look forward to seeing you more. And I want you to start thinking of a location of where you're going to be doing your flight review. We have locations in Ontario, Saskatchewan, and Alberta, as well as out east near Newfoundland. Now over to Nathan Keith, a flight reviewer of Sugu Drones. You'll be seeing more of him throughout our video modules.
my name's Nathan. I'm a flight reviewer for Seagoo Drones. I also enjoy building and flying experimental helicopters. In addition to my product design and engineering background in automotive and aviation industry, I was also fortunate enough to work for an aerial operator helicopter, doing lots of long line work, working in close proximity to people with aircraft. I look forward to using some of that experience in the RPAS industry. We have a beautiful field here in Muskoka, based out of Huntsville, and I can also travel to the surrounding area. Whether you're going after parcel delivery or eventual beyond visual line of sight, I look forward to helping you with your advanced flight review, your advanced operator certificate.
Seagoo, a safer future with technology.
Be sure to like and subscribe.